Now call on the International Lawyers Organization.
Vice President, the Vienna Declaration and Program of Action was adopted under the auspices of the United Nations. It led to the creation of the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights, the focal points of human rights within the UN, and set the United Nations at the center of the global human rights movement. At times of today, many believe that the United Nations itself should set the example for the rest of the world. Too often, however, we have seen that this is not the case. It is with regret and concern that we must request the Council's attention for a matter of interference of the right to freedom of expression of a journalist at the UN in New York by the office of the UN most senior official. After covering the UN for more than a decade, on 19 February 2016, Inner City Press was ordered to leave the UN premises on 2 hours' notice in a letter signed by UN Under Secretary General for Public Information. The official reason given was that the journalist covered a private meeting. This meeting was held in the UN press briefing room, to which all press is ordinarily allowed, and the journalist immediately left the room when asked to do so by UN security. Moreover, the apparent harassment of Inner City Press appears to have commenced after it began covering a story concerning corruption linked to the office of the UN Secretary General. While the story has been widely covered, it was Inner City Press that repeatedly asked pointing questions about it at UN press conferences given by the spokesperson of the Secretary General. The timing of the first expelling of the Inner City Press journalist from the UN, then the closing of his office at the time the story was being covered, after more than a decade of covering the UN, at best seems suspicious and at worst a blatant interference with the human right to freedom of expression by a body who should know better and set a better example. We call on the High Commission for Human Rights, who is itself an Under-Secretary General, to inquire into this matter and to report the findings to this Council at its next session. Thank you.
Thank you very much.